Hello, and welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Kit, your friendly feminist cat lady spinster, and today we're going to talk about the insidiousness of Mrs. Midwest.
Because my message can be kind of like intense for some people, like the things I believe, I like to pad it with, skincare and like how I clean my house,
For those who don't know, Mrs. Midwest is a femininity blogger and YouTuber. I originally came to her content because, well, she's gorgeous and she seemed very welcoming and inclusive. However, the more I watched, the more I began to wonder just how truly inclusive and welcoming she actually is. She is, however, very subtle, hence the title. But first things first.
I have nothing to lose. I don't work. I can say what I want.
Caitlin Ann was born in 1995 in Michigan, but was raised in Canada.
I grew up in a small rural town near Toronto, and it was a pretty interesting place to grow up because everybody was Dutch. All of our grandparents spoke Dutch. We were all very traditional Dutch Christian people. Like, I didn't even know blonde wasn't the most common hair color in the world till I was like in third grade. I went to Christian schools. I went to a Christian high school. I went to a Christian college.
She returned to Michigan for college and graduated with a BA in strategic communications. Though she and her husband attended the same college, they didn't meet until a school trip to Israel in January 2016. They married in July 2017 and have 2 children.
The first thing he asked me was, "Is that your natural hair color?" And I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy does not care. My feelings. I don't think dating a beta is helpful. The person I dated before my husband was very beta, and it brought out all my worst qualities.
Caitlin grew up in a Christian Reformed church, but they currently attend a non-denominational Reformed church. Caitlin's husband, Grant, became a Michigan State Trooper in February 2017. Her first blog was posted in September 2018, and her first YouTube video was posted in February 2019. Mrs. Midwest was incorporated as an LLC in August 2019. Caitlin and Grant also have a small rental, and I remember her mentioning that he was involved in day trading on one of her Instagram stories. He also helps her with sponsorships, analytics, and managing her DMs and comments so she doesn't have to deal with antagonistic people.
My blog has kind of helped a lot of women discover this side of life because not a lot of women who do this really talk about it,
Per Caitlin, it might be easy to assume that I really did just wake up and have my dream life, but that is not the case. We have had to overcome a myriad of obstacles and challenges to get to where we are today. To become a wife, we had to overcome extreme problems with my family, not too dissimilar from the plot of a cliche K-drama to be honest, but that's all I will say. To become a homemaker, we had to face financial and social hardships. To become parents, we had to deal with issues with my health, long periods of waiting, and an extremely difficult birth. Even having this online presence comes with routine hardships of slander, trolling, and misrepresentation of my character. But you know what? It's all been worth it. 1000% worth it. She has also posted about this on Reddit. My father did this to me and my now husband. He had serious control over my entire life, and when I refused to break up with my boyfriend, now husband, he and my mother cut me off financially. They were paying for my college and were very wealthy and able to pay for it. I took 3 different jobs to survive. My boyfriend, now husband, supported me, and we found strength in our pastor, counseling, and my husband's parents. It wasn't easy though. I even came to the point of considering suicide, but the darkest times brought about the lightest times in my life. We got married and paid for our own wedding. We had a rocking time. I had a ton of support from basically everybody but my parents. As of today, I have no contact with my family, and it is incredibly freeing to be away from the emotional manipulation and control. I have grown so much. It's such a long story, and these are minor details, but I just want to let you know that fighting to be together works out great as long as you both want it. I'm sure your girlfriend will grow and feel very free when she follows her heart and not her father's control. It will be hard for a long time, but it's worth it. I've been called a unicorn multiple times by my husband, his friends, and past boyfriends. I have a very controlling, dysfunctional father, and I keep my distance with him to stay emotionally and mentally stable. I respect him and never talk cruelly about him, just as I respect all the other men in my life. Don't worry about being an orphan. Almost all Disney princesses were orphans. Also, the space between me and my parents has put my husband completely in the provider role. Too many women call their moms constantly, ask their dad for money, and rely on their parents too much after marriage. He enjoys being my number one, and I give him all the respect he deserves. This is what he loves, and all his friends have noticed. Your separation from parental figures could be a good thing in the long run. So Caitlin has some interesting posts on her now-deleted Reddit account, but as they say, the internet is forever. She posted in a lot of subreddits, but the ones that caught my attention were Red Pill Women and Red Pill Christians. Though I would like to add that she also posted occasionally in Fat Logic, which promises to find out what keeps you fat and then do something about it. Sick of being fat? Shed your fat logic here. Though as she mentioned, she only wanted to lose 8 pounds, so... Anyway, for those who don't know, the red pill is from the film The Matrix and refers to becoming enlightened to the truth about reality. Online, red pill is especially used among anti-feminist and white supremacist groups to refer to waking up to the truth that women in liberal politics are oppressing men and white people. There's a post from Dead Bedrooms. You might be too needy? My ex-boyfriend would wait on me hand and foot and be nice to me no matter what. I never wanted to have sex with him. My husband, on the other hand, since I have met him, has always put me in my place, refused to put up with my shenanigans, and always put himself to the equation. Needless to say, he's never had to ask for sex once. We're crazy in bed. Ex-boyfriend was a jacked male model. I'm not kidding. He modeled for money. Husband is a bald 24-year-old with a dad bod. It's all about the personality. Don't let her run all over you and control you. She will never find that sexy. And from Red Pill Christians, don't lose hope. There are women out there for you. Me, 23F, and my friends, also 23Fs, from my Christian high school and church all prized our virginity and faith as well as our looks and education. I'm married now and saved myself until marriage. My friends are still virgins and not currently dating any guys because it's hard to find good Christian guys in Canada. Not sure how to encourage you other than to say don't obsess too much about finding a girlfriend. Desperation can be sensed and is unattractive to women. Praying that God will provide for your needs. And in Red Pill Women, Red Pill helped me realize that even though I was sexy and turned heads at my comfortable eating whatever I want weight, I could be better. I was undisciplined when I ate whatever I wanted when I wanted. Since losing 8 pounds, I've noticed a much sweeter attitude from all men I encounter. I seem more delicate to them, and they are protective and polite. Being over 200 pounds as a woman seems incredibly unhealthy and unattractive, visually and mentally. Men look at your appearance to gauge your health, but your appearance also speaks volumes about your character. We were together a year and a half before marriage. 9 months dating, 9 months engaged. I was completely red pill, and he felt like a winner when he chose me. Modest, kind, cooked and cleaned, didn't party, etc. That's all a guy wants. On the husband frustration note, once he decides to not have sex and you don't tempt him, saying, I want it, let's try, etc., you will not have a problem abstaining. It's very exciting on your wedding night and completely worth it. But you both need to be in complete agreement. Once one of you starts entertaining the idea, it's not going to work. We saved sex until marriage. We are religious and it was the best thing I've ever done. Over a year down and my captain and I are more in love than ever. Moving on, Caitlin recommends and has retweeted Stefan Molyneux. Who is Stefan Molyneux? In short, he is a far-right, white nationalist, and white supremacist podcaster, blogger, author, political commentator, and banned YouTuber who promotes conspiracy theories, scientific racism, eugenics, and racist views. So in addition to retweeting him before he was banned from Twitter, she also recommended his presentation about the fall of Rome, and she says, I'm a big fan of this man and his philosophy. It's brash, offensive, and my favorite type of YouTube content. And finally, her Instagram follows.
On Instagram, I only follow like people that either I would want to be them in a aspirational way. Like
there is so much here, I couldn't get to everyone who set off a red flag. Biblical and reformed. Educated females. European people. This account really loved Caitlin. Guild of Gentlemen. Raising Apologists. Worth Fighting For. Dazed and Conservative. Girl in Calico. Allie B. Stuckey. Doreen Virtue. Christine Yergin. I was puzzling over her following PewDiePie, but after some research, it tracks. There's a few more, but they're in the final thoughts section.
You vow to submit to your husband and to follow his lead. And I was always okay with that because a relationship works better when you know who's in charge. You know, the red pill concept of like captain and first mate, you know, I'm happy to be that person. How do people discover the red pill or whatever? It's especially a woman. It's kind of surprising when you meet a woman who, on Return of Kings, I kind of learned, no, there's like this higher standard that you have to reach to actually be attractive. And I was already married, so it wasn't like I was going out to look for a guy, but for personal development sense, I wanted to be as good as I could. So anyways, I started reading those articles and then it kind of jumped into, oh, there's a subreddit and there's all these YouTubers and all that stuff. And it's not just about like talking about women who gain weight. Obviously, there's so much to the community. And I do think that cleaning and nesting is more feminine. And I do think that it's genetic. You know, if you look back, you know, prehistoric, they have a cave. I'll make your cave nice. You can give me meat and I'll survive and give you babies. Like that hasn't gone away. Like that's still there in us.
At first glance, Caitlin is all femininity, sweetness, and light. But then you look at who she follows and, well, the churches are very strict. Homophobic, transphobic, anti-choice, pro-Trump. The feminine accounts are all religion-based and talk about submission. The aesthetic accounts are overwhelmingly white. And then there's the ones that make me go, Bernadine Bluntly, Soli, Yogi Obes. And then there's Brittany Sellner, who, let's just say she's very far right. Fresh Femininity is a new one to me, and the account is private, but per the bio, a fresh take on applying traditional femininity in the modern world through the lens of the new right wing. The bio also mentions home, family, fatherland. My final analysis is that behind that beautifully curated Instagram account, Caitlyn is a red pill wife, extremely right wing, and far more religious than originally thought. But she is very subtle. I'm a little disappointed because people assume that because I'm a feminist, I'm not into like traditionally feminine things or other such nonsense, which is not true. I actually enjoy stereotypically feminine things. I just don't think that women need to be limited to them. And I also just want to say to Caitlyn,
anytime you look up how to be more feminine, it's literally for trans people. Like how to be a more feminine trans woman, you know?
Wow.
It's not for women. There's nothing out there for women to say, here's how to be more feminine. And that was disturbing to me.
It's not really a surprise that most teaching femininity accounts online were for trans women, because most cis women don't really feel the need to like learn how to be feminine. We just kind of figure we are. We don't really feel we have to prove that we're feminine, you know? I wish her well, and I hope becoming a mother makes her reconsider her positions on a few things. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as possible considering the content. Ellie, what are you doing? Oh, she's got her little pink ball. Even my cats have girly toys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as possible considering the content. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye!